All right. Looks like we are live. What is going on, Bree Hive? We are back for yet another Bree Hive live on Tuesday evening. How was everyone's weekend? Go ahead and drop it in the chat if you're watching live. If you're watching on a replay, go ahead and let us know how your weekend went in the comment section. If you have not already, please do hit the like stream. We're going to come, or the like stream. Please do hit the like button on the stream. We are going to come up with our like goal for the live stream in just a moment. Welcome back. And we kind of knew the case that we're covering today was coming, but now it is here. And how did we know the case was coming? We are talking about no other than the Christian Combs lawsuit. He is being sued for SA, battery, assault, and a bunch of other things, or he's not being sued for a bunch of other things, but his dad is being sued for a bunch of other things. And we knew that this case was coming because Rodney Jones, the guy that wrote a 90 some odd page amended complaint, let us know that this lawsuit was coming. And so we have this lawsuit coming by Grace O'Murke. I think that's how you say her name, but not only her. We had another Grace sue another famous person, Jonathan Majors, or she didn't sue him. The criminal courts basically prosecuted Jonathan Majors, and he was actually just sentenced today. Now, I don't know why they ordered him to do a certain battery program. I'm gonna have to double check into that, but we're gonna look at it in just a moment. That one will be a quick little recap, and then we'll jump into the full lawsuit of Diddy being sued with his son. And not to confuse him with the other son that is already sued in the other lawsuit. What's that son's name? But his sons are getting sued with him left and right. I think, what was that son's name? I don't have the document right in front of me. Where did that go? We already off to a crazy start, y'all. We already off to a crazy start. What's the other son's name? If anybody knows in the chat, go ahead and let me know. If you guys are watching on the live stream, make sure you go ahead and comment. Let us know that you're watching live because we're going to say hi to everyone in just a moment. And I really cannot find my freaking downloads that I already did, and Kimmy's not in the back to save me today. So I'm trying to find that last lawsuit that we had with Diddy, but I don't see it. So maybe we covered it longer ago than I thought. Diddy, where is your complaint? Whatever, his other son. I probably could have Googled it faster than me trying to find it, but I can't remember exactly what his other son's name. What? Come on, Google, help me out. What? Diddy's son names. The other one is being sued too. Justin. Justin is the one. He got a couple of them. I thought there were only 2 boys, but I guess there are a lot of boys. So Justin has already been sued in the lawsuit with Rodney Jones along with his father. And now we got Christian Combs also being sued along with his father, but this time by Grace. And we're going to get into the details that she is alleging. Like I said earlier on, she's alleging SA, regular assault, regular battery. She's accusing Diddy of aiding and abetting liability. She's the one that kind of put all of this together, or not put it all together. Diddy's the one that put it all together. He was operating the boat, renting the boat, leasing the boat, whatever you want to call it. And so Diddy should basically be responsible for the things that happened on the boat. So not only has he been sued with his other son, Justin, he has now also been sued with this son, Christian, who apparently assaulted this girl. We're going to jump into it. But first, we have to say hello to everyone that is watching live. So again, if you haven't dropped your hello in the chat, please do so that we can say hello. And we're going to jump right into the live stream. This stream, I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty quick stream, but maybe not. Maybe not. We got like 30 pages. No, not 30 pages. Maybe like 20 pages to go through on this lawsuit. So let's actually get Bossy to be in here to say hello. All right. Who do we have here? We got Carolyn Lower, a member of the channel, saying first time early to the stream. Well, welcome into the live stream on an earlier note. I was kind of on time today, right? I think I was on time today. Welcome in. Nice to see you tonight. We got Mary Malarkey, a moderator and member of the channel, saying, hey, Bree in chat, checking in from Chicago, dropping a B emoji from the memberships. Welcome in. Nice to have you in tonight from Chicago. I didn't know you were in Chicago, but that's nice to know. Chantel, another member of the channel, saying, hello, everyone. Central Texas is under a severe thunderstorm warning, so may not be able to stay long. Well, I hope that you stay as safe as possible, and hopefully the thunderstorm goes away without being severe. I don't know if that's helpful. I don't know if my words are helpful in that, but I hope that you stay safe at least. Destined to be also known as Tanya D, welcoming Carolyn Lower in member moderator of the channel. I believe Tanya D is like our longest member of the channel. So welcome in Tanya D. Nice to have you here tonight. We got Deacon Fatal, another member and moderator of the channel. And I think Deacon Fatal has been a member for almost as long as Tanya D, but I think Tanya is ahead a little bit, but welcome in. Nice to see you tonight, Deacon Fatal. Tanya D says, hey to Mary Malarkey and Chantel, saying hey to everyone. Deacon Fatal did drop the name while I was struggling. Justin and Christian are the ones of Diddy's sons that have been sued along with him. They have like a little picture up of his 7 children before he started making more. When they were a little younger. Chantel saying hi. Carolyn saying good evening. Let's see. Kimmy Locker, welcome in. Member, moderator, consultant, paralegal of the channel who is in the chat and also backstage. Welcome into the live stream. Nice to see you tonight. And as always, shout out to Kimmy for helping me find the documents not helping me. She found the documents, okay? Because I didn't help at all. So thank you, Kimmy, for that. I saying hi to Kimmy. Everyone saying hi to each other. We got Dragon Angels, another member of the channel, saying hi all, dropping that B emoji from the membership. Welcome in. Nice to have you in tonight. Let's see. Kentari, another member of the channel. Welcome back to the live stream. Nice to have you tonight. Saying checking in from the hospital. I've forgotten how much I hate getting infusions. Well, I'm sorry that you're in the hospital, and hopefully it's a good visit today. And we're happy to have you here live with us. And hopefully we can keep you entertained. Dean Fatal says, I think so. Also, wait, 7 for what? Oh, yeah, he says 7 kids, but I think he has more than that now. Let me go ahead and show y'all what I'm looking at. So this picture is like from when his kids were pretty young, but so I'm pretty sure he has more. Like this kid right here, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, is the one that's being named in this lawsuit. So I thought he was, he's a kid right there, and now he's like 25, 26. So I'm pretty sure he has some other children as well. Or this one just says 7 children, but this may be an old article. So yeah, a lot of kids for Diddy. Carolyn Lower says, I just got my dog back from the groomer and she is all scratched up. Oh no. What were they doing to your dog? I was hoping you would say it's a cute little hairstyle or first style, whatever you want to call it. Miss Hour, another member of the channel, welcome in, saying hi. Hello, nice to have you back tonight. Mary Malarkey saying, look to see, they're saying hi. Leslie Ann Moon says, hi there, my first time checking in from Bolito, South Africa. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome into a Bree Hive Live. We have a new viewer. Nice to have you here tonight. Hopefully, we can get some good information out to you. Carolyn Lower saying hi to Nissa. Everyone saying hi to everyone. Carolyn saying, wow, Leslie, good to see you. Yes, of course. Deacon Fatal is not happy with the 7 kids. Not happy. Destined to Be says, oh no, Carolyn, that's all bad. For the dog groomer, yeah. I don't know what they did to your dog, and I hope your doggy is okay. Kantari says to Tayari, we're hoping the same. My immune system is being, we cussing on the channel, Kantari. cuss here. But we hope that you're doing good. I don't want to put your stuff all on blast and read it all out loud. Dragon Angel saying you got this to Kentari. Like I said, hopefully everything goes well for you. Kaylin says, hope you get better soon to Kentari. Yes, of course. And Deacon Fiddle says to Kentari, I hope you are better soon. Hopefully we can give you some laughs for a bit. Yeah, hopefully we don't interrupt your treatment too much because we got some crazy stuff going on. And we know the chat likes to go rogue. Where's our rogue attorney at? Well, I haven't heard much on that case lately. Rogue attorney Braun, allegedly, in some people's opinions. I have not heard much about that case going on a lot, but hopefully we can get an update on that case coming up soon here. I think they did like an amended complaint, so we're probably going to get some amended answers coming up and some motions to dismiss and maybe some hearings, and hopefully the case will just get freaking dismissed. But we will see what the court decides on that case. Anyways, let's jump right into the first case that we have today. No documents, just a brief overview. Let's get right into it. Bossy B, bring us in. But before we get there, we also need to set a like goal for the stream. We have 21 people watching live. If you have not hit the like button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm. It does help us get friends here. And we like having a lot of friends here to chat with us. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. If you are not subscribed and you're just hanging out on the channel, please do subscribe. We are working on getting to that 13,000 mark, okay? We're getting to that 13,000 mark. I am going to set our like goal at, let's do 75. We'll set the like goal at 75 and see if we can hit the like goal for the live stream. So like I said, y'all, if y'all haven't hit it, go ahead and hit the like button. Y'all, also, I have not fixed... I have not fixed our like goal animation yet. It took me long enough to get it done. Now it's going to take me long enough to fix the sound on it. Husband came back this weekend, so I've been a little bit busy. Either way it goes, I'm going to get it done, y'all. I promise I'm going to get it done. It just has not been done yet, so I will continue to give the warning if we do hit the like goal, which fingers crossed we do hit the like goal this live stream. Anyways, let's get into Jonathan Majors. If you guys have been following this channel for a little bit, which I know a lot of you have, Jonathan Majors, a Marvel actor. He's also acted in a couple of other movies that are not coming to my brain right now. He was the villain in Marvel, the up-and-coming villain. He had been a villain in several other movies, and I think he was in the Loki series. He was the main villain coming to, I think, the next Avengers. He was in Quantumanium, I think that one was called. It was one of the Ant-Man movies. He was brought to trial under criminal charges for DV against his ex-girlfriend. We covered some of the trial on this channel where she's like chasing him down the street. He's picking her up. He's throwing her. All of these things are going on. Then the girl goes out to the club after, I'm not trying to laugh at her situation, but she decided after the brawl she just went through and chasing a man down the street probably 2 miles. I was going to say 2 blocks, but it was further than 2 blocks. She decided to meet up with some people on the street, go out and club with them. But the jury still found it persuasive that Jonathan Majors did abuse her in some sort of way. So the jury did find him guilty. Now, this was a misdemeanor domestic violence charge. Don't remember the exact charges, but it was DV related. It went to trial as a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor, you can only face up, or you are only facing up to 1 year in jail. Okay, this is not a felony where your sentence is going to be more than 1 year. He was found guilty a couple months ago. His sentencing hearing got moved to today, apparently, and he was sentenced with time served. So he is not going to jail. In addition to getting time served, he also was sentenced to do a 52 weeks batterer intervention program in Los Angeles County. But if I remember correctly, this case actually occurred in New York. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this case was brought in New York because the incidents happened in New York. But he has to do a batterer's intervention program that's approved by the LA probation department, which I thought was pretty interesting. I thought that was really interesting. He's on probation for a year, and he will also have to do some therapy. I don't know exactly how long the therapy would be, but he will have to do some therapy there. Let me see here. Okay, and Kimmy did go ahead and not correct me, but let me know that the time served was only for the harassment, and then there was like the actual abuse charges where he's having the 52 weeks battery intervention program and things. So he has probation, he has time served, and he has a bunch of other stuff going on, but he's not going to go sit in jail any longer. I believe he was in jail before the trial, before the hearing. Sorry, y'all. I'm like about to choke. Okay, he was in jail for some time and they're basically giving him time served. But if he violates his probation in any way, if he's arrested, he could then face jail time under these sentences. So let me know if you guys heard about this. Do you think this was an appropriate sentence? I mean, it was a misdemeanor that went to trial, and I'm just like, why did this go to trial? So I'm not too upset with the verdict, the sentencing verdict, because I mean, it was only up to 1 year. I didn't think that was that bad to begin with, but I'm pretty sure like a lot of fans of his is happy that he did not have to go and sit in jail for that year. He got his time served. He's on probation. He has an opportunity to basically better himself. Now, is he still going to appeal the verdict, the guilty verdict in general? I believe that he is. I haven't heard much about it lately, but I'm pretty sure he's still going to try to appeal ever being found guilty. So there's that with Jonathan Majors. I'm going to jump into the chat and see what y'all have to say about this case. If you remember it, if you have comments on it, make sure you drop it in the chat so that we can chat about it. And Kimmy is helping me star the different movies, and not the different, yeah, some of them are about the different movies, but the comments that are related to this case. So if you have something related to the case, Kimmy will try to grab that chat for us and we can talk about it. So let's have Bossy B bring us in. That was a quick little segment, y'all. Like we're on the way. We're on the way to getting into this Combs mess, combing through the mess. Oh, that's a good one. We're gonna comb through the mess with Diddy. But let's see what the peeps are saying. Deacon Fatal says was a Marvel actor. Yes, he was the Marvel actor, and he was in some other movies too. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Deacon Fatal says he was in Loki. It's Loki, right? I feel like I'm saying that wrong because I'm like Loki. That's cool. Like, I don't like his name being Loki, but he was the King in Ant-Man, and he's gonna be the King and the next. I believe there's another Avengers coming out, but he's been booted off of that movie, so we will not be seeing him. Deacon Fatal says Disney wants none of that. However, the Flash is still a thing. I don't like the Flash. Like, I watched the most recent Flash. It was very corny. I don't like DC though. So, I mean, that could be biased. I really don't like DC movies. Sorry, not trying to start a DC versus Marvel argument here, but the Flash, I watched that movie on the plane. I was so disappointed, and I was happy that I didn't pay to go see that movie in theater. So, I'm sorry, Deacon Fatal, about the Flash. Chantel says he was also in Lovecraft Country, Max, and The Harder They Fall on Netflix. Yes, those are always the ones that I forget. So thank you for reminding us of that. Kimmy Locker says he was also in Creed 3. Yeah, he was. He was. And I remember when we covered this case, I was like, I really did not like his character in Creed 3. I felt like he just tried too hard. But also, I feel like in Kang, he tried too hard too. So maybe it's just the vibes that he gives off. But they liked him. Everyone thought he was a good actor, right? And then Deacon Fatal says, I think it was, and that is interesting. Don't know exactly what you're referring to there. Deacon Fatal says, because his lawyers were poo. The thing is, technically, he did do some DV, putting his hands on her, whether he was defending himself or not. Self-defense is a defense. So you technically are admitting to doing something, but you defended yourself. But he didn't even argue self-defense. I forgot what his position was, but it was not self-defense. What was his position? I think the position was that she was the one abusing him, if I remember correctly. But I know I found it very strange that he was not arguing self-defense. But again, like I said, even if he would have argued self-defense, he's basically admitting, yes, I did this, but I was justified in doing that. So I don't know if the lawyers were poo. I think him picking her up and throwing her is what kind of really sealed the deal. To me, she didn't really establish that he's who caused the cut on her ear and her other injuries, the injured finger. I don't think she established, or the prosecution did not establish that very well, in my opinion. But just the size difference and him picking her up and kind of forcing her back into the car, and then the allegations of it being like a cheating thing, and then the allegations of there being like additional incidences, I think that's what kind of got him. Carolyn Lower says, I liked him in Loki. He makes a good King the Conqueror. I don't like him. I didn't like his acting. Maybe it's just me. Not saying you can't like it, but I just didn't like it. Chantel says he got lucky. Why didn't he claim self-defense? Like I said, it's a defense. He would basically have to admit that he did it, but he was justified in doing it. So I don't know what the strategy was there. Remember, he filed his own claims against her and wanted the DA to prosecute against her because he was basically calling her the attacker. Mary Malarkey says, I remember it. Can't believe there was a trial. I can't believe it was a trial either. Things like this usually go under like a plea agreement, and he could have did like no contest, or he could not no contest. He could have did like not guilty, but I'll do community service, or but I'll do a freaking batterers intervention program. That's what he was ordered to do anyways. Like, why did this go to trial? Kimmy Locker says, yeah, the trial was in New York and he was convicted for 1 count of assault and 1 of harassment. But I don't understand why they made the batterers intervention program have to be approved by Los Angeles. That was weird to me. Kimmy Locker says he also filed a motion to set aside the verdicts, which was denied last week. But I'm sure if he's also, I'm unsure if he's also filing an appeal. Yeah. Last time I heard he was, but with this kind of sentence, I mean, but the thing is, if he doesn't appeal it, no, he's not a felon. So eventually he should be able to get firearms once the restraining order is lifted. So that's interesting. Deacon Vito says, wait, I didn't know she had a cut on her ear too. Yeah, it was like a cut behind her ear, like a deep gash that makes my skin crawl. And then she had like that injured finger. Those were her injuries. Chantel says DC has a casting problem with many of their superhero movies. They should hire the CW people who did the casting for superhero TV shows. Yeah, I don't know. I think their scripts are corny too. I don't... Maybe it's me. Every time I watch a DC, it's like I can't get with it. Like even DC Spider-Man, I wasn't really for him either. And I'll watch Spider-Man. Like, I don't know what I have against DC, but they just don't do a good job to me. Kimmy Locker says, I'm pretty sure it's because he lives in LA. But yeah, but he also has like a place in Manhattan too. But maybe he's saying he's gonna stay there more. And the picture that they had of Megan Good coming out of the place with him did not look like Megan Good to me. It looks like a stunt double to me. Tanya D says Grace is full of it. Why was she at the sentencing if she wants to truly move on? I mean, she could have given a victim impact statement. I don't know. I didn't watch it. Kimmy actually told me about this, so I really didn't even know this was going on today. So she wants him punished. And her being present might give the judge a little bit more push to give him some jail time. But after this, hopefully she moves on. She does still have a criminal protective order against him that will probably last at least the next year or so. So while he's on probation, it will last. Deacon Beto, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We definitely appreciate it. I won't do the horns. Says, if Every hero could have been as cool as Chadwick Boseman. Yes, 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 yes. The best freaking superhero, Black Panther. Now, I will go on to say, and I hope people don't get mad at me for saying this, I don't think they did a good job with the next Black Panther after he passed away. They didn't really tie the story good for me. I don't know. I don't want to go into it, but I didn't like how they did the like we knew the Black Panther was going to become the sister, but she's going to be like a nice Black Panther. I don't really like that. I don't really like it. Well, I mean, I guess he was nice, but I don't know. The acting, she was a good support character in my opinion. I don't think she's a good main character. And Tiny says she did give a statement. It was yesterday. Okay, yeah, I didn't even know this was happening. Like, I was completely out of it. Deacon Fiddle says, thank you, not blowing the horns. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Thank you too. I know. Deacon Fiddle says they did their best because they didn't know he was sick. Yeah, he still did a phenomenal job even though he was sick. And you know what? I was kind of like, why was he not as involved in the Avenger movie? It's probably because he was sick. So, and it's crazy because no one knew it. Now, once he started kind of appearing sick, people were like making comments about him. But at the same time, I feel like no one really knew he was sick. So they did a great job at covering that up. And it's so sad that he had to go. So he was really young, really young. And he had like a great career ahead, a great career path ahead of him. The Black Panther movie was like about to set him off. Then we got King coming out here ruining it for us folks, okay? Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into Christian Combs. I think we got a couple more chats coming in, and then we'll jump into Christian Combs and Diddy and their nonsense that they got going on with the yacht girl. And like, this one is filled with the pettiness, the shade, and allegations for sure. This complaint is filled with that. So let's see what everyone is saying. Vegan Fiddle says, and Marvel gave the best respect by not playing the theme song for his movie. For which one? I don't know what you. I don't know what you're referring to there. I'm not familiar with that. Deacon Fiddle, that is respect. And B says the studio didn't know for a long time either. My question, like, would you tell? If he was doing fine, I probably wouldn't have said anything either. Tanya D says he wasn't as involved because nobody really thought Black Panther was going to skyrocket like it did. But in the Avenger movie, that movie had already kind of took off at that point. But then again, they do record it prior to releasing, right? I don't know. Because he was in 2 of the Avenger movies, if I'm not mistaken. But like both of his scenes were like very limited. In the last Black Panther movie, they didn't play his theme song. Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh yeah, they didn't have any music. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. They didn't have any music at all. That was respect there. Moment of silence. And I think like people were crying at that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Black Panther 2. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. At first I was like, I don't remember that. But once you said it, I did remember. They did not play anything. It gave everybody the moment of silence. And it was sad. It was a tough one. But hopefully he's resting easy and he made an impact on the world. And that is what matters, right? Stacey Ann says the first movie was real good, though. It was. It really was. But if they're going to keep Black Panther going, they're going to have to find a way to make it kind of flow a little bit more, a little bit better. So let's see. Okay, let's jump into, sorry we ended on Black Panther because of Jonathan Majors messing everything up for us. Let's go ahead and jump into Combs, Christian Combs, Sean Combs. Let's comb through the mess. Look at me. Let it go, Bree. Let it go. Let's comb through the mess, girl. That is not as cool as you think it is. Saying that is not as cool as you think it is. Okay, let's see who we got going on here. We got Rodney Diggs, Tyrene Amon, and Ivy McNeil. and Tyrone Blackburn as the attorneys, the plaintiffs in this case. They are for Grace Omarque. I think I'm saying that right. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. This is in the Superior Court of the County of Los Angeles. We have Grace suing Christian Combs, Sean Combs, and John Doe's 1 through 10. And then we got ABC Corporation 1 through 10. She is suing for assault, battery, SA, premise liability, aiding and abetting, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. And she's also asking for a jury trial. Before we get all the way into this, y'all, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. Our like goal is 75 likes. We have 32 people watching live, so I know some of y'all haven't hit the like button because we only have 23 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm. It helps us get more friends. Okay, let's get into it. This is where the allegations and shade, it starts off strong. They start with the parties. Remember, normally these cases that we cover, they start with like a little brief background summary. This one goes right into the parties, and we have plaintiff Grace Omarque. I'm just going to call her Grace. She is a European Caucasian female who worked as a stewardess in the yachting industry since 2018. Now, I don't know why we had to know that she was a European Caucasian. Are there other Caucasian? I mean, I guess there are other Caucasians. You got American Caucasians, Caucasians from Spain. I don't know, but for whatever reason, they needed us to know that she was a European Caucasian. Well, I don't even know why we needed to know her race, but here we are. First paragraph of the freaking complaint telling us about how she's a European Caucasian. So for any of the European Caucasians, the girl is representing. Anyways, let's get into it. Plaintiff's love for yachting. This has nothing to do with party information, but she's going to give us some background information in the party section because we need to know about my girl Grace. Not really my girl. I didn't like how she first started off that way. But either way, let's go on. Plaintiff's love for yachting started at an early age and was a foundation on which she had built her career. Her 4-year career. Okay. I felt like this is a young girl. Through yachting, plaintiff has traveled the world, met many new friends and colleagues, and enjoyed a very successful career. Throughout her career, plaintiff has always worked well in teams and received high praises and great feedback from her managers and colleagues. Now, you may be wondering why she's giving us a resume. It's basically to add to her damages. She was working in the yachting industry. She was loved in the yachting industry. And now she can't go back to the yachting industry. So give me money and to compensate me for those things, for the harm that they caused to me. Goes on to say, plaintiff also consistently received exemplary reviews from her clients for her excellent customer service, as well as glowing references over the past few years. Plaintiff has consistently received promotions and has never been rejected for any position she has applied for. That is impressive. That is impressive. But, resume. Prior to being SA'd by defendant Christian Combs, hereinafter defendant C. Combs, plaintiff planned to work the entirety of her career in hospitality and the yachting industry. Unfortunately, those plans have been derailed due to trauma plaintiff continues to have as a result of the assault. Okay, we got Christian. He goes by King Combs for whatever reason. Defendant C. Combs is a 25-year-old auto-tuned, heavily edited rapper. So she says my boy can't rap and he's auto-tuned. Coming with a pure shade for Mr. Christian Combs. She said defendant C. Combs is a 25-year-old auto-tuned and heavily edited rapper. Unfortunately, as the saying has it, the apple does not fall far from the tree. That's what I meant to put as my thumbnail. Defendant Sean Combs says, or defendant Sean Combs, defendant S. Combs is what they're going to call him, who has also been accused of several acts of SA, rape, SV, and drugging, among other deplorable conduct, is the father of defendant C. Combs, who has seemingly taken after his father and the family business of reckless partying, drugging others, SV, and other illegal conduct. I'm probably not going to make it past the yellow flag on this live stream. So at some point, I'm probably just going to start reading the words, y'all. But trying to keep it censored for now. Specifically, defendant C. Combs is the second child of billionaire defendant S. Combs and his late ex-partner, Kim Porter. Upon information and belief, defendant C. Combs reside in the city of Beverly Hills, California, in Los Angeles County of California. They love using pictures in their complaints. I wonder if they're starting to do this to make the complaint like more real in these LA cases. Defendant Sean Combs, hereinafter defendant S. Combs, is a rapper and a record executive popularly known by his stage names Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Brother Love, or Love. Defendant S. Combs became famous in the early 1990s with his record label Bad Boy Records. He rose to prominence in the music and entertainment industry over the decades and is regularly revered as a hip-hop Mongol and top rap / hip-hop producer in the industry. So he's not an auto-tuned, heavily edited rapper. He's actually good at what he does, is what you're trying to tell us. Upon information and belief, defendant S. Combs resides in the city of Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, California. During the relevant period, defendants John Doe, they go on to say that these people are not named and they aided and abetted in the recklessness that went on. Okay. And then we're going to jump into the comments, but I do see that we have a super chat from our good friend Deacon Fatal. Thank you very much. Thank you. Saying combing through Diddy's mess is like combing for lice because everything keeps popping up. I didn't know that he and Craig Mack had beef till today because of payment. I didn't know that either. I don't know who Craig Mack is, and if I'm supposed to know who that is, I'm sorry, but I don't. But yeah, he has a lot of stuff going on, and I just feel like it's going to be a snowball effect. Everything's just going to keep coming out on him right now until we can get some criminal charges gone. I think that criminal charges will be had in the next few years on this man. If not this year, I think at least within the next 3 years that Diddy's a lot of stuff is gonna come out on Diddy. You're gonna start seeing celebs, more celebs snitching on other celebs. So again, thank you for that super chat. I'm gonna get back into the complaint and then we'll get into the other chats chatting about the topic. Okay, let's get into the facts common to all causes of action. Remember, we got battery, assault, SA, we got aiding and abetting. I think those are the only 3 against him, and then the 4 is aiding and abetting and premise liability. Then we got negligent infliction of emotional distress and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay. In or around July 2022, so she's had a great 4 years of being a stewardess. Grace was working on Victorious, a super yacht built by Ek Yacht and owned and operated by Fraser. Plaintiff worked as a temporary second stewardess for the company Equum, all those letters and numbers. Plaintiff worked in her temporary position for a month on Victorious, then was subsequently offered a permanent position due to her professionalism, passion for the job, and great customer service skills. In or about September 2022, plaintiff had been part of a dedicated team at the Monaco Boat Show, tasked with selling charters for Victorious to high net worth clients such as C. Combs and S. Combs. In December 2022, plaintiff and her team were advised that the yacht had been successfully chartered for the 2022 holiday period. Plaintiff changed her personal holiday family plans to accommodate her charter service and flew to St. Martin to prepare for the yacht service. Plaintiff soon learned that the client who chartered the yacht was defendant S. Combs and his family. Defendant S. Combs leased the yacht and had full control of the staff and premises of the yacht. Although plaintiff was used to working in discreet and VIP environments, this was one of her first times working with an A-list celebrity. Because of this, plaintiff and the rest of the team assigned to the yacht were determined to make the holiday special for defendant Sean Combs and his family. Oh no, don't scroll. What happened? Oh, where am I at? Come back. Jeez Louise, that was far. Okay, let's see. During for the duration of the trip, plaintiff was assigned the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift along with one other crew member. This shift, commonly known as the late shift, was very busy. Late shift duties included dinner and drink service for the clients for the entire 12-hour period. Dinner and drink service had to be carried out with minimum staff support or backup during the night shift since only two individuals were assigned. Although S. Combs was always typically on the yacht, his sons, defendant Christian Combs and Justin Combs, were staying in a luxury villa nearby but joined their father aboard the yacht most evenings. During the second week of the charter service, there was a significant amount of partying and drug use, which caused the guests to stay up throughout the night. So my girl couldn't go to bed because they was up partying. The makeup of the yacht quickly evolved from just defendant Sean Combs and his families to include a constant rotation of suspected S workers and other A-list celebrities such as French Montana and actor Cuba Gooding Jr. So we got Cuba back in here, and she name dropped French Montana for us. Defendant Sean Combs turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. According to plaintiff, it resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, S work, and general chaos. It also created an extreme hazardous environment. For example, guests often demanded drink service until 6 a.m. They was getting lit till 6 in the morning. Staff was often treated with disrespect. Suspected S workers were sprawled out unconscious about the yacht, and it was difficult to distinguish which bottles of alcohol were laced with drugs and which bottles were not. Okay, you just kind of threw that out there. You didn't really kind of build up to it being laced with drugs. Why do you think it's laced with drugs? And it is important to note that as a bartender, plaintiff understands the impact of alcohol and the likelihood that a person would not generally become intoxicated following one mixed drink. Because of this, plaintiff found it very suspicious that after one shot of De Leon tequila and one mixed drink, various women on the yacht would be falling all over themselves, panicking, or passing out. This led plaintiff to reasonably believe that the alcohol given to these women was likely laced with drugs. Okay, so we got to it in the next paragraph. They should have put this paragraph before that other paragraph, but it's done. Okay. Plaintiff was aware that Rodney Jones, a producer who was employed to work on the Love album Off the Grid, was required to be on standby for musical recordings, often late into the night. The Love album Off the Grid is the fifth studio album by American rapper and record producer Sean Diddy Combs, released on September 15, 2023. Has anyone listened to that record? I didn't know it actually still came out. And I've been covering these cases. Has anyone listened to the songs off of this Love album? Has anyone? Okay. Mr. Jones was accepted as an extended member of the service staff and spent time with plaintiff at the service bar and piano room where he played the piano. On or about the early morning of December 28, 2022, the evening shift started as normal. About 5 a.m., plaintiff was messaged on the on-duty phone that defendant Christian Combs would be joining the yacht by tender, a small craft that runs back and forth from a large yacht and used for servicing and providing support and entertainment to a private or charter yacht. Christian wanted to be brought over to Victoria's to record in the yacht's makeshift recording studio with Mr. Jones. Although it was not unheard of for Christian to come aboard at such a late hour, he usually stayed at his dwelling offshore overnight, particularly when there was no party on board on any given night. Christian arrived in the tender and was heavily intoxicated. Plaintiff suspects Christian was intoxicated from a mixture of narcotics and alcohol. Upon entering the recording studio, Christian immediately began ordering the tequila shot to be poured from a bottle of alcohol he may have brought onto the yacht. Ironically, Christian was playing Cassie's Me and You. Oh, there's a typo. They always got to get us with a typo. Always got to get us with a typo. They were playing Me and You in the background. Cassie was an artist under Diddy, and was his former love interest, who also accused Sean or Diddy of serious and mental abuse. In the studio, Christian asked that plaintiff bring the shots to the recording studio /sun deck, and plaintiff obliged as she was the only serving steward at the time. Plaintiff noticed immediately that he was particularly attentive with her, which she considered to be very inappropriate. Tell us more. Under pressure and wanting to be polite, plaintiff obliged prior. Okay, never mind. I skipped one. Sorry, y'all. However, plaintiff began to become concerned when he insisted that she take shots of tequila he may have brought on board the yacht. Because if we're talking about, you know, being on a yacht, they probably have the alcohol already supplied for you. So you probably shouldn't be bringing extra alcohol on the yacht without permission. Think the boat likes to kind of pay attention to what's coming on and off the boat, right? They don't want any of that liability on them. Under pressure and wanting to be polite, plaintiff obliged. Prior to this, the plaintiff witnessed Diddy create a Black Santa video, which showed him demanding the captain, various head departments, and crew take a shot of tequila with him. As this was a pattern established by the captain of the yacht and Diddy, plaintiff felt comfortable knowing that Mr. Jones was present and didn't think anything more of it. She felt that she would take one shot and he would let her return to the pantry. Now, I understand that you've seen the captain and everyone else do it, but did you ask the captain if you can do it? I'm assuming this is a young girl. In addition to that, you just told us that you've witnessed people take shots and have one mixed drink, and then after that, they were falling all over themselves. What made you think this was not going to also happen to you? Not victim blaming here, okay? But I would rather her not give us the excuses of, oh, I did it because everybody else was doing it. I felt comfortable because, like, why did you feel comfortable about Mr. Jones? What about him made you feel comfortable? I think she should have left the excuses out of it. Just say it was common. It was okay for us to take at least one shot or something like that. Or like maybe you should have grabbed your own shot, but it's weird. It's weird. Okay, Deacon Fatal with another super chat. Thank you very much. Okay, saying, okay, he is doing the same thing Kelly did with making a song about their crimes. And if I can notice that, best believe the law also noticed that. Yeah. And I mean, that's what they're doing. This is what they do. Then you got the blackmail, him making a Black Santa video. I don't know what that means. I'm thinking since this was around Christmas time, maybe Diddy dressed up in a Santa suit and was making his Black Santa video and was having people on board take a shot. But if this wasn't the same day and you didn't really talk to your captain about it, I probably would have tried to avoid it. I get that she felt pressured and everything, and she was the only one working at that time. But I don't know. It's hard when I'm looking at these things because a lot of the people kind of go on the boat voluntarily, right? But she's actually just working on the boat as a worker. So she's kind of put in a tougher position than women that voluntarily go on the boat and end up getting drugged. She's working there trying to be polite, and now she ends up getting drugged. So that's sad for her. Thank you for the super chat again, Deacon Fatal. Let's get a little bit more through this, and then I'll jump into the other chats here. I want to get a couple of pages or like one more page down. Okay, she got concerned when he said to take a shot. According to plaintiff, at this point, the mood changed and things became sinister. Christian insisted that plaintiff stay chatting and that she sit beside him so she cannot do her job any longer. Plaintiff resisted and remained polite, asking to leave. Christian became aggressive and insisted that plaintiff take a further shot and sit behind him. He's like, man, this is not kicking in fast enough. At this point, Christian violently grabbed plaintiff's arm and began hurting her. He pulled plaintiff to the seat beside him and prevented her from getting up. Plaintiff insisted that she had to return to the pantry, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. Angered, Christian forced plaintiff to take another shot. What is wrong with these people? Plaintiff was quite scared and realized she was in a very dangerous situation. Plaintiff was also feeling the effect of the tequila shots and quickly suspected that the tequila was spiked. At this point, the situation escalated and plaintiff started to be physically assaulted by defendant by Diddy? Now Diddy is, or did y'all mean to put Christian? I think you meant to put Christian because this one says that's Combs, but I'm thinking you mean Christian. Diddy hasn't been mentioned at all here. Anyways, we're going to read it how it's written. Assaulted by Diddy. He touched plaintiff's leg, breast, anus, and vagina. Again, I saw this when I was skimming this. How do you grab someone's butthole? I'm sorry. What is up with them and grabbing people's buttholes? Like, that's weird. Or maybe he just poked it. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it, okay? Anyways, he also tried to kiss her and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands. What is up with these people? Like, why are you trying to kiss this lady? The timeline at this point is very blurry and vague to plaintiff, as she does not recall exactly what happened to her due to the effects of the spiked tequila shots. She's going to have a hard time in court with that. They're going to be like, well, your memory doesn't even serve you right. How do you know it wasn't Mr. Jones doing this to you? Oh, yeah, they're going to, don't let this go to trial. Luckily for plaintiff, due to defendant S. Combs' insistence, or due to Diddy's insistence on Jones recording everything, Mr. Jones has an audio recording of Christian Combs drugging and S.A.ing plaintiff. Below is a transcript of defendant Christian Combs forcing plaintiff to consume unsuspected lace shots of DeLeon liquor. So he's just sitting there recording everything because Diddy told him to record everything, and it's backfiring on Diddy at this point. Okay, why do I keep doing that? Okay. I scrolled so far. Let's go back. Showing too much. Okay, let's see. Conversation. Okay, here's the transcript. Audio 1. Christian says, yo, it's shot o'clock. Okay. Plaintiff says, no, I'm not doing shots, Christian. So it sounds like she sounds pretty familiar with him, calling him by his name like that. Christian says, everybody, we got to take a shot. Okay. Audio number 2 says, plaintiff, I'll just put the ledge. Christian says, no, take the whole thing. Plaintiff says, no, you will take it as well. So you're participating at that point. Christian says, take the whole shot. Plaintiff says, I'm only doing it as long as you take one as well. So she's participating at this point. Christian says, I ain't going to lie. I'm not taking nothing. Please take the shot. So they know what's in that shot, right? They know what's in that shot. Plaintiff says, you are drugging me, ? Interesting question. Christian says, take the shot. Hey, yo, play another beat one time because now, let's see. It says below is the transcript of defendant Christian S.A. of plaintiff. Cassie, Me, and You featuring P. Diddy and Young Jock was playing in the background. Plaintiff says, this is not an offer. Christian says, you said what? Plaintiff says, I can't. I'm swapping out. I can't do it. I'm sorry, darling. What do you mean by swapping out? I don't think this video is going to look the best for her. They're going to victim blame on this. I don't think this video is going to look really good for her. Let's go on. Christian says, nah, we need you. Plaintiff says, I'm going to stop. I have to go. Honestly, I'm like already losing sleep. I have to go now. Christian says, you're the best one on the ship, though. What do you mean by that, sir? Plaintiff says, what do you mean? That's what I would like to know. What do you mean by that, sir? Christian says, who's going to replace you? Plaintiff says, who's going to replace me? Christian says, F that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? Who's having this conversation? A kindergartner? F that. That's going to be trash, though. You feel me? What did you even just say? Plaintiff says, excuse me, you don't touch my leg like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. Plaintiff says, if I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that. Christian says, listen, you and everybody in the crew, it's great. You and everybody in the crew, it's great. It's great. Plaintiff says, I can't. I have to go down. Christian says, no, yo, tell me, listen. Plaintiff says, what? What is this conversation? Christian says, like say you're just vibing with me the whole time. Plaintiff says, I can't. I promise you. I wish I could, but I can't unless I say that you guys requested me. Christian says, yes. Who can I talk to right now? Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now. So he thinks that she's an S worker. Like, you can't just request this girl. She's a stewardess. Plaintiff says, well, you can take your hand off my butt for the first thing. I don't think the video is going to help her. Just from the short reading of the transcript, I don't think that video is going to help her. She's going to look like a willing participant. And you can say, oh, I was just trying to be polite to get out of there all you want to. But just based on the wording in this transcript, I'm sure, although she may have been drugged, it's going to look like she was voluntarily participating. And how is she going to prove that there were drugs in the alcohol, right? So they're going to say, okay, well, you're saying that there were drugs in the alcohol, but you have no proof. You haven't tested the bottles. How do we know that you just didn't take 3 shots? Most people don't get immediately drunk after 3 shots. It may take an hour or 2 for it to even set in. And even then you might be like a little buzzed, right? Unless you're just a really lightweight. This is not going to look well for her. Rodney, I think for me, Rodney is losing credibility for even like, cause he hyped this lawsuit up in itself. And I want to know what the attorneys thought when they saw this video. So for me, it sounded like the video is not going to help her. Let me know what y'all think. Let me finish this page and then I'll jump into the chat. So go ahead and put y'all comments in there because we're going to get to them in just a moment. According to the plaintiff, she said she would have to. According to the plaintiff, she said she would have to be requested because she knew anyone of authority who would approve this request was asleep. Christian would not have been able to contact them and plaintiff could then leave. Seems convenient. Sorry. After being assaulted in the recording studio, plaintiff attempted to resume her duties that night. She made her way to the pantry where she met another steward who was assigned to take over the shift. Her colleague recognized that plaintiff was visibly intoxicated, in shock, and trying to finish the shift. So so she probably got fired for getting drunk with the guest. And now she's suing. Anyways, let's go on. Shortly after returning to the pantry, Christian called for plaintiff. He went looking for her and demanded that she find him a place to sleep on the yacht. At such a late hour of the night, there were no spare cabins for Christian to stay in. Despite this, he refused to go to shore. The most acceptable place for him to sleep that night was in the cinema. Plaintiff directed him to the cinema, which was commonly used as an extra sleeping area. The cinema has one door to exit and enter. Plaintiff entered the room and Christian blocked her from exiting. Why didn't you send the person that was taking over the shift that wasn't drunk? Plaintiff retreated to a corner of the room and defendant Christian became physical and extremely aggressive. He cornered plaintiff and started to grope her. Plaintiff pushed him back constantly. Christian then took off all his clothes. His male parts was erect and he grabbed her arms and was trying to force plaintiff to perform oral copulation on him. What is, like, you are a Mongols, a rap hip hop Mongols child. You can't get nobody willing to do these things for you. Like, seriously, you have to force people to do it. You have to drug people. I mean, I guess they think it's more fun that way. Why do you have to force someone to do it? I'm sure there's plenty of girls after him. Let's go on. The plaintiff began fighting Christian Combs, and not long after her partner on board entered the cinema, this startled defendant Christian, and plaintiff was finally able to leave. Okay, you should have probably sent your coworker to begin with, but we'll stop there. It sounds like she became friends with them, right? They're probably around the same age. I don't know. The plaintiff's partner became concerned and went looking for a plaintiff after she had not returned to her room after her shift had ended. The morning after, plaintiff complained to the yacht's captain, Captain Patar Milkov. Captain Milkov berated the plaintiff. He lacked compassion or concern, failed to investigate, insisted that plaintiff was probably voluntarily partying with the guest. She was not. I guarantee you that's probably what the video is going to look like, even if she wasn't voluntarily partying with them. Just the wording in the transcript sounds to me like she became familiar with them. And I haven't seen the video, so I can't make a comment on how the video makes it look. And maybe that was also part of her giving us her resume. I never got in trouble. I always got praise. I always got compliments. People always hired me. So I never partied with the guests, is what she wants us to believe. But let's go on. I didn't think that I was not going to be on her side. Y'all, I briefly skimmed this. I didn't go all the way deep into it, but I didn't think I was not going to be on her side on this one. I think she would have been better off without the video. I honestly think she would have been better off without the video. And without putting the transcript in here, probably would have made, for me, it go a little bit further. Captain Milcove added insult to injury by assigning plaintiff to work in the front of the house, which required personally serving Christian Combs while they were on the yacht. Why would the boss do that? Plaintiff was not provided an option to be isolated or not have to serve defendant Christian Combs. Plaintiff was 25 years old at the time of the attack. So yeah, same age. Okay. I thought she was even younger than that, to tell you the truth, but it sounds like they're the same age. Based on information, or it sounds like she might have been a little bit older than him. Based on information and belief, defendant Diddy's employees, including his drug mule, Brendan Paul, and his chief of staff, Christina Coram, and his second in line, Frankie Santella, learned of what occurred and informed defendant Diddy. Shortly after, Captain Milcove received a generous tip from Sean Combs in order to keep Captain quiet and keep him from protecting plaintiff or taking action on her behalf. From the way that you described the way that he treated you, I don't think he was going to protect you anyway. I'm sorry. It did not sound like your captain was on your side, sis. Only a few members of the ship's staff were required to write statements. Plaintiff and her partner were the only two staff members not interviewed and not asked to write a statement. So apparently there was an incident report, and I'm assuming that this led to my girl being fired. So let me go ahead and jump into the chat and see what everyone has to say. Where's Bossy? And y'all, there's another section to this is going to be as a result of defendant Christian Combs, SA, plaintiff has suffered. She's going to explain how she suffered since this incident happened. So we're going to jump into that section, and then we're going to jump into the section about the aiding and abetting. So like I said, if you guys have comments on her initial story, go ahead and drop them. We're going to go through the chat and see what the chat has to say about it. Where are we at in our likes? We are at 40 likes with 40 people watching live. I know there's some people that have not hit the like button because people come in and out. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. Our like goal for the stream is 75 likes. We are about 35 likes away from that. So hit the like button and help us reach our goal. Okay, we got Dragon Angel saying that got a chuckle out of me. I think that was way at the beginning of the case, so I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. Tiny D says we got a corny joke. Oh, that's what got the chuckle. We got corny jokes. Breathe tonight. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Deacon Fatal, thank you again for the super chat saying coming through Diddy's mess is like combing for life. Because everything keeps popping up. I didn't know that he and Craig Mack had beef till today because of payment. It doesn't surprise me that Diddy wouldn't pay his bill. I mean, Rodney accused him of not paying his bill. He also signed Cassie to a 10-album deal, and she only did like, one album. So that doesn't surprise me. Deacon Fatal says, this is already written horribly. It is. It is written bad. Tiny D says, that is an odd intro to a lawsuit. Literally first meaningful paragraph is letting us know that she's European and Caucasian. I don't know what that mattered to the lawsuit, but she didn't even like claim the crimes against based on sex, based on gender, which was interesting to me, but maybe it didn't apply. I mean, it would apply here, honestly. They only did it to her most likely because she was a woman, right? MB says, well, he sounds lovely, that he's a heavily edited. We might as well have called my boy a SoundCloud rapper at that point. Dragon's Angel says, not only can he not rap, he uses tone deaf too. He's tone deaf too, yeah. Yeah. Basically, Stacey Ann says, LOL, out of tune. She needs somebody. How do you need someone to correct your voice while rapping? Like, you're not trying to sing. Come on now. Tanya D says, also didn't know boating industry workers were called stewardess. Yeah, they are. I didn't know, like, working. I mean, I guess that could be a career, working there for 4 years. I guess you can call that a career, right? Stacey Ann says that was some shade. Yes, they came out swinging on that one. They for sure came out swinging in the opening. MB says, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if someone raised in an environment like Diddy's special life turns out to be someone who does things like this. Not saying he is guilty, just not surprising. I was saying earlier that you're Diddy's son. I'm pretty sure you can find someone willing to do these things for you, but you feel like allegedly you feel like you have to drug people and then force them to do it. But at the same time, I'm like, sure, he could probably find someone willing, but maybe to them it's more fun if you're unwilling. Like, I don't get the thought process behind it. It's and I also think it's kind of like a spoiled kid thing. Oh, I can have whatever I want. You can't tell me no. And then for you not to tell me no, I'm just gonna drug you. Basically, is what these lawsuits are coming out to. For me, that's what they're coming off as. Deacon Fatal says to me, do they have the note thingies? For which thing? What note thingies? I don't know what you're referring to. Deacon Fatal says, I got a new flavor in your ear, Craig Mack. Oh, sorry. Tiny D says, Craig Mack's most popular song was Flavor in Your Ear, released in 1994. My sweet baby Bree. Yeah, I probably wasn't listening to that in 1994. I was barely alive. If even alive at that point. Sorry. Mary Malarkey says, I can't imagine being part of any legal team involved in whatever is ahead. Looks messy. Are you talking about on Diddy's side, on her side? I personally, from that intro, I don't think she has a good case, but I'm going to leave my comments there and I'm going to get y'all comments. Kimmy Locker says, as much as I love sassy attorneys and shade in lawsuits, I hate it in cases like this. I think it undermines the severity of the accusations and adds to the level of skepticism for the victims already faced. I agree with you there. Like, even the first paragraph turned me off. I don't think her race was important to the claims that she was making. It's almost like, I am a white girl, so these black men desired me and they forced me to do this. They're doing this to anyone with a vagina at this point. They're even doing this to children at this point. So you kind of creating like this superiority complex about, oh, I'm white, so they wanted me. That's how I took it. I'm white, so they wanted me, versus maybe you were the youngest, hottest chick on the boat that wasn't an S worker and they wanted to see if, they can turn you. You could have been, in my opinion, she could have been any race for this to have happened to her, as long as she was young and hot, right? Or maybe, who knows? They might have like a old and not hot person. I don't know what these people are into. But you heard them saying, no, you're the best one. You're the best one. So I'm assuming she's probably young and hot, right? According, in their opinions. So that, and then, I like the SoundCloud. They didn't call him a SoundCloud rapper. I can appreciate that kind of shade. But there were other things that were, I think, not necessary in order to get the point across. So I agree with you there, Kimmy. Stacey Ann says, true, it's not exactly a kid-friendly environment. True, growing up with Diddy. And he let his 16-year-olds dress half naked on their 16th birthday. And they're older than 16 now. I think they're 18. But they like adultified them before they were even adult. And I honestly feel like being 18 is not even adult enough to be adultifying. But they sell sex, and then they go and sell sex of their own kids. Like, it's weird. MB says to Stacey Ann, yeah, seems to be very toxic for sure. If just a tenth of all that Diddy is being accused for is true, a child raised with his dad as a mob boss, I think would turn out exactly like this. Yeah, I agree. Like we said, not saying he's guilty. This is just allegations and shade at this point. But would we be surprised if he is guilty? I don't think so. I think a video is going to show him trying to turn up with a girl his age. I don't know if it's going to show SA. I don't know if it's going to show that. I'm sorry. Deacon Vado says he has tapes if he is talk like that. The talking, it says, okay, she is talking. Yeah, so they both talked on the tape. Tanya D says, I don't see how any of that was a family event at all, even earlier in the day. It sounds like he just let random people come on the boat. And he's rich and he's paying them. So they're going to let him do what he wants to do, right? Mary Malarkey says, we're so overdue for a Bree rant, but I feel confident there will be many with this case. I'm not all the way there yet. Like, I really thought I was going to be on her side, to tell you the truth, but I don't think the video is going to help her at all. MB says, I haven't listened to Diddy for like 20 years. I'm like, when's the last time Diddy came out with a song? Like, come on. He apparently came out with an album last year. We didn't know. DK says, absolutely not listening to that. Tiny D says, I heard a song a while back, but I didn't like it. I would not be surprised on that. Chantel says, no, but Diddy was nominated for a Grammy for it. Of course, he didn't win. I don't even want to listen to any of the songs at this point. MB says Christian's name is apparently King. I think that's his nickname. I think that's his nickname. Chantel says to MB, yes, King is his rapper name. Yeah. Okay, got it. Deacon Fatal, again, thank you for that $5 super chat saying, okay, he is doing the same thing Kelly did with making a song about their crimes. And if I can notice that, best believe law can also notice it. Like I said, I think criminal charges are going to be brought against Diddy in the coming years, if not this year. Okay. I think so for sure. Thank you again for that super chat. Dragon Angel says, oh, what? Carolyn Lower says, that is sus. Deacon Fatal says, that sounds like it was forced. So you're leaning more towards the force. Him saying that he's not going to take the shot, yes. I think that makes us think he knew what was in that bottle. So that could probably be insinuated, but is it going to be to the level that it needs to be? And I always forget what the standard is in civil court. I came up with it the other day. It'll come to me. Smalls, welcome in, moderator and member of the channel, saying hello, sus. Okay, y'all are leaning more towards her side. Deacon Fatal says she wants to leave. I think she did want to leave. I do think that she did want to leave. I'm thinking it could have came off as playful, but let's see. MB says, if I was stuck on a yacht with these people, I would be scared to not do as they say, which again, see, so people like you guys on the yacht would probably be more in favor of, on the jury would probably be more in favor of her. Kimmy says, well, the fact he wouldn't take a shot and she straight up asked him about being drugged is pretty telling. I agree with that. And almost makes me believe that she became friends with Christian on the boat. Because if you're just hanging out with people your age and you're like, oh no, stop, Christian. I wouldn't do that in my professional capacity, right? And we're different levels of professionalism, whatever you want to call it, but she's great with customer service. I want to be like, oh, stop, Christian, I don't want to do this. I'll be like, hey, cut it out. I got to go do my job. But they are on the boat. They are stuck there. She got in trouble. I don't know. Maybe I'm just but she's around my generation. She's younger than me. I'll probably just quit. Be like, y'all are weird. And I also fight. So that's a downfall. I can't be talking about I fight on the internet. Bree, you're an attorney. Don't say that. But yeah, so no, I do think she can bring that insinuation up. The question is the jury going to believe her? Maybe you said when he came on the boat, he was already intoxicated. So maybe he wasn't taking shots because he was already intoxicated. Devil's advocate here. So we can probably insinuate that it was laced, sure. But do you have proof? Kimmy Lockett says, I think she wanted Christian to take the shot because she didn't trust that it wasn't drug, not because she was encouraging or partying with him. That's a good take. And like I said, jury members can think that. Deacon Fatal said drunk people do sound like kindergartners. The conversation was trash. Like, I didn't understand. I don't know how either of them understood what the other one was saying. Deacon Fatal says, I don't think the video would harm her either. I think depending on what's depicted in the video, it may make her look like a willing participant. I'm not going to lie to you. Deacon Fatal says, just because her lawyer can't make a case, testimony will matter. Yeah, exactly. So her testimony, and again, they are going to grill her and she's not going to be able to say a lot of the things that actually took place, because if she was drunk or she was drugged, she's going to be like, oh, I don't remember what order that happened into. And then she's going to get to the point where she's saying one thing on the stand and then in the next second saying something else and kind of contradicting herself, not because she's lying, but just because she doesn't necessarily remember all the order because she was under some type of under some type of influence, right? Tanya D says, I don't think it will really hurt her either. It won't make him look good either. I don't think so either, but the standard that she has to overcome, we're not talking about preponderance of the evidence. What's the other one called? It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's, what are the standards? I don't even know what they're called. It's not coming to me, so I'm trying to figure out what it is. Let me see. What is it called? Clear and convincing evidence. That's what it is. Clear and convincing evidence. Is it clear and convincing that he did these things? Usually, if you're talking about, well, one person saying this and another person saying this, the court's probably going to be like, might not have happened, is where I'm leaning. And I'm thinking from a legal standpoint, not just being a girl's, right? Deacon Fatal says, and if drugged with something that is fast acting. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think, and if the jury doesn't believe that she was actually drunk, that can hurt her, right? If they think that she's participating. MB says, so far I am with plaintiff. All this sounds very realistic in my experience. I think it is realistic, but I'm also thinking about the type of people that are going to be put on the jury. And maybe because we're in LA, you might get a little bit of Me Too people on the jury, right? But I'm thinking in LA, the type of people on the jury are going to be like, you kind of voluntarily fell into this. You're not supposed to be drinking on the job. You said that you saw a captain do it, but did they tell you could do it? Have you ever done this before on any other cruise ship or any other yacht trip? So I believe that it could happen. She feels uncomfortable. She's trying to get away with it, or she's trying to get away from it. But can she make a jury believe that it was more him versus her participating, right? That's what I'm thinking about. MB says it's the power trip. And I'm like, it has to be a control thing. It absolutely has to be a control thing. MB says they don't think it's fun if the girl is willing. They cannot possibly think it's fun. It's like, you cannot tell me no. And the way I'm going to get you not to tell me no is by drugging you. Mary Malaki says to MB, it's like a game or competition with certain people, sad and scary. I agree with that. And that's what it seems like it is here. Deacon Fatal says, okay, let the jury, if this goes to jury trial, see everything. And that's the thing. The video will come out. We're only getting transcript. To me, the transcript sounds like they were friendly with each other. Definitely understand the basically, haha, nervous laugh. I need to get out of here and try to be as nice as possible until I can get out of here. I do agree with that. It's just, how is the jury going to perceive it? MB says, I went into this being doubtful, but reading this, I believe her 100%. Okay, so we got one voter for the plaintiff. I think we got a couple people going for the plaintiff. MB says, I have been half in similar worlds. I have met hostesses. I know the fine line of pleasing guests and do as they say, and how easy the powerful guest can be, how easy the powerful guests can use and abuse the hostesses. That is also very true. You often will see bartenders taking shots with like patrons. I've also seen bartenders throwing shots out over their back. And I saw this one that was horrible. Like, either she knew the guy was like really drunk and he wouldn't notice, or she really just did not give a F, because she literally didn't even put the glass up to her mouth. She literally turned around and poured it out. And the guy was like looking at her. And I'm just like, okay, like, I definitely get not getting drunk on the job, but I'm like, does he not care? Because she still charged him for the shot. I think that was the worst part. She still charged him for the shot. But she like very clearly just poured it out. And I was just like, oh, okay, maybe he'll stop buying her shots. No, he bought her another shot after that. I was like, this is outrageous. Maybe he didn't see, but I clearly saw it. I don't know how he didn't see it. MB says, and with pleasing, I don't mean as sexual, but do as I say. No, I definitely get it. It happens all the time, especially with like bartenders and hosting and things like that. MB says these people do not want anyone willing. That is the whole thing. It's the power. They know they can get whatever they want in life. They are all about conquering and power tripping. No one says no to me. And that's where I'm leaning towards, because I'm like, how, like, you could find willing participants. They might even have your baby. Okay. But you want the girl that doesn't even want you? Kimmy Locker says they're allegedly doing it to people without a vagina too. Oh yeah. I mean, Rodney Jones, right? Rodney Jones too. So, but there is, what I was referring to, Kimmy, was the like, you did this crime against me because of my gender, because I am a woman. I think she could have succeeded on that claim. Deacon Fatal, another $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I don't know if I got this one earlier, but thank you. saying, now all I know is the DHS is involved. They have the evidence to take this to court. For which part? For Diddy stuff? For the raiding of his house? I don't know if they have enough evidence yet. They have to kind of go through it first. Deacon Vado says the DHS were looking for the tapes. Oh, the tapes of, yeah. So you're talking about from the raid of the house. Yeah, I think that is what you're talking about. Kimmy Locker says 18, still a baby. You're not an adult until you can support yourself. I agree with that. And I'm just talking about how he kind of did his own daughters, like basically sexualizing them. And I just have a feeling like he's going to sell them to his friends. And that's weird. So weird. Carolyn Lower says, I was so dumb at 18. Yeah, and you're supposed to have a parent to freaking protect you. His is like pimping his, Diddy's like pimping his out, allegedly. Deacon Fatal says, trust me on that. It might not be them, but it will be someone's. Yeah. Ashley D says, I'm very invested in the Diddy story because I have him going to jail in my 2024 bingo card, amongst other crazy things, including a major code case being solved / code. Oh, good. That's a good one. I see it. I want to say within the next year he'll be arrested, but I'll give it 3 years because they have to build up that case, start making people scared. They might start arresting people around him and then get to him later. Kimmy Locker says to Ashley D, I've got it on my 2025 bingo card because I bet it'll take a while. Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. I'm like, at least within the next year, but I'll give it 3 years. Ashley D says, oh, I think the actual trial will be a long time coming, but the arrest soon. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, the trial is going to take way longer. Dustin to be Tanya D says, that's where the video can help. If he's grabbing her arm, forcing her to stay, could show it was against her will. Yeah, I think so too. And also the comment about, and I think I'm more leaning towards the beginning part of the video. It sounds participatory, but when she said, don't move my legs, she kind of thugged up on him. I'm like, okay, that part of it could potentially help her. But like the beginning part of it sound kind of flirty to me. That part is probably not going to help her. So hopefully there's a little bit more video about what's going on. The other thing about it, the actual forced conduct, no one else saw it, but not the forced conduct in general, but the forced conduct in the cinema, no one saw it but the other stewardess. And then you run the risk of being like, okay, well, everyone else wrote statements and they didn't say this happened. You're saying that all these other people weren't there, so they didn't see what happened, but just you particular 2 people saw it. So, I mean, they're going to cast doubt on the statements as much as possible. And I don't think Diddy is willing to pay anything else. And allegedly already gave Cassie $30 million. I don't think he got any more millions of dollars in him to give to people accusing them of stuff. But I agree with you, Tanya. If the video shows more like forceful conduct, and that could definitely help her. Deacon Fatal with another super chat. Thank you. Yes, love that. Thank you for supporting the channel. Saying the one thing I love about law stuff is I do not have to read people's minds. I wait for the facts and circumstances. Exactly. And the people in the trial will get the most information. And this is a case that's in LA. So we will not be able to watch it. They don't allow the cameras in the LA cases. So once things start coming out, and again, we can predict something, the jury could lean a completely different way. But we have been pretty accurate in our predictions, I feel like, on the channel. So maybe we can predict it before the verdict comes out. MB says, I don't think they were friends at all. From what I know, part of your job is to be friendly and a form of company. Yeah, maybe I'm just antisocial. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just antisocial, so I'm automatically like, you're friends. Deacon Fatal says, I have to head to bed soon. I say, let the court decide on this one. Diddy's case is taking more time from an actual good artist. Yeah, and so I think that this one is going to take some time. I don't think they're going to settle it, though. I think this one is going to go to court. Deacon Fatal says he is poo. And B says, at uni, when I studied social psychology, we also read about the psychology of SA. So many men convicted of rape were convinced that they were innocent, even if the events were basically the same as the victims. They just didn't see it as rape. To us, it was obvious. Yeah, no, that is very true too. Like you were saying, she was probably nervous laughing. Oh, I gotta get out of here. Haha, leave me alone, Christian. And he's like, oh yeah, she wants me. She wants me. Let me get her a little bit drunk because I don't want someone that wants me, basically. So no, I definitely get you there. Alan says, I hate he said / she said cases. They always feel bad. And that's what this is going to be. The video, Tiny says she thinks that the videos might help her better than hurt her. I don't know. The defense is going to get some jurors on there to cast some doubt there and not have the clear and convincing. Is it clear and convincing? Doesn't have to be that much, right? Looking at 75% likelihood. She's going to have to get some information about her actually being drugged. Did she go to the doctor? They're going to ask her that. Oh, if you thought you were drugged, did you go see a doctor? When was the charter over? We haven't got that far. I don't know if they're going to tell us in this case. Was the charter off over the next day? Did you then go to the doctor and see if drugs were in your system? They're going to grill her. Like, these kind of cases, they're not easy. They are not easy at all. Okay, let me go ahead and jump back into the case. Bossy, where you at? Okay, here we go. Let me get my life back together. Okay, we got, as a result of defendant Christian Combs SA, plaintiff has suffered. Below are images of plaintiff's bruises because defendant Christian Combs violently grabbed her in attempting to force her to perform oral copulation. That doesn't even sound fun. Like, how are you going to force someone to put your man parts in their mouth? That doesn't even sound like it will be fun for the guy. But either way it goes, you see that she has bruises on her arm. She looks like she's a pretty small person. Again, more bruises on her arm. You're like, sounds weird. Okay. We got more bruises on the arm. I'm pretty sure this is like the same arm. According to the plaintiff, the past year, 2023, has been the most deeply traumatizing time of her life. Defendant Christian SA and the subsequent cover-up orchestrated by Sean Combs and his staff. Plaintiff was isolated and retaliated against on the yacht. Okay, so let's see how much longer it was. This isolation and retaliation finally resulted in plaintiff's termination by Captain Mill Cove on May 10th, 2023. What did I say? She got fired. Okay. And then she took a little while to file a case. Termination, not that she quit. Okay. Not that she quit. So again, that's something else that's going against her, but we'll see. In addition to losing her employment, plaintiff also lost her longtime partner with whom she had planned a future. Plaintiff's partner was never the same after seeing plaintiff's bruises on her body because Christian Combs SA'd and having to deal with the mental and emotional ramifications, so they separated. Plaintiff's mental health deteriorated to a point that she was medicated and required intensive therapy. That's sad. Additionally, she fell into a deep depression and was unable to fully carry out her maid of honor duties at the wedding for her only sister in June 2023. That is also sad, which she had been looking forward to doing for over 18 years. Plaintiff's anxiety and panic attacks prevented her from securing another permanent position in the yachting industry in 2023. She's not going to have good references at that point. Her captain fired her. She can blame it on her deteriorating mental health, but she did not put that in the complaint. She didn't put it in there clearly, at least. Plaintiff also developed a severe eating disorder as a result of the attack due to the shame and mental warfare she was experiencing that affected her body image and appetite. On several occasions, the effects of defendant Christian Combs SA led plaintiff to have severe suicidal ideations. In addition to plaintiff's psychological trauma, her physical health began to deteriorate. Plaintiff had several epileptic seizures. I can't say it. Epileptic seizures. These seizures resulted in plaintiff losing her ability to privately do things she was accustomed to doing alone. Plaintiff now requires supervision to do basic activities like swimming and bathing, and is not required to inform people in public places that are now, I'm pretty sure it means is she's now required to inform people that she's epileptic and requires supervision. Again, she's going to have to prove those things. A lot of them, I feel like, a lot of things that she's claiming can lead to that. I don't know if she's going to be able to connect the seizures all the way. Premise liability and aiding and abetting against Diddy. According to the plaintiff, defendant Diddy chartered the yacht and assumed responsibility for the actions of himself, his guests, and his family. Upon information and belief, defendant Sean Combs fostered and encouraged an environment of debauchery. There was always a party atmosphere filled with suspected S workers, suspected laced alcohol, violence, and sheer disrespect of women and the yacht crew. Upon information and belief, defendant Diddy did not have any safeguard in place to ensure there was no excessive drug use, no excessive drinking, and no importation of S workers. Are they not allowed to talk to them about? Did the captain tell him he couldn't do that? I guess they're gonna have to pull up the contract of what's allowed on the yacht. Okay. Diddy apparent failure to ensure there was a safe environment on the yacht was intentional. On one occasion, Christina Kuram, Diddy's chief of staff, instructed plaintiff to ensure that the entire bar area was stocked with De Leon tequila and Ciroc vodka. It was important for Sean to be surrounded by these bottles. On this occasion, defendant Sean was visibly intoxicated. Plaintiff is unsure if he was high from drugs, alcohol, or both, but out of nowhere, Christina Kuram quickly approached plaintiff and ordered her to remove all of the Ciroc and De Leon bottles. She was informed that Redacted and Redacted 2 were boarding the yacht. At that point, defendant Sean Combs exited the room, and Redacted 1 and Redacted 2 entered the room, and defendant Sean Combs returned sober, holding his newborn daughter. This all occurred within less than an hour. How did he get sober in an hour? Okay, let's see who it was. A famous female comedian. We can't guess who that is off of just saying a famous female comedian. Wife of a famous comedian and founder of the New York-based charity. A New York-based charity. I don't know who that is. Can y'all guess? Has anybody already speculated on who those people were? But apparently it was two females. And then he returned with his daughter sober. I don't know how he sobered up in an hour, but okay. This incident led plaintiff to believe that defendant Diddy knew right from wrong and had the ability, though, to wherewithal to determine the environment of the yacht was safe. He intentionally created an unsafe environment and gave license to defendant Christian Combs to believe that he was free to S.A. plaintiff. Diddy allowed defendant Combs and his friends to behave carelessly, and they observed and mimicked his action. According to plaintiff, on many occasions, she witnessed young girls visiting the boat, stay for less than 30 minutes in a cabin with a guest, and leave. That this led plaintiff to believe these girls were S workers. According to plaintiff, Diddy routinely engaged in and encouraged open illegal drug use while on the yacht. On several occasions, plaintiff witnessed defendant Sean Combs smoking marijuana while receiving services from the yacht's crew members. He would not allow them to leave as he smoked, and as a result, several crew members had a contact high. According to plaintiff, in another incident, defendant Diddy had several women who plaintiff suspected to be S workers on the yacht. On one incident, a girl was extremely upset and ran to the lower deck, locked herself in the massage room, and was hysterically crying. She said she did not feel safe and wanted to leave. The crew was alerted of this. At the time, Sarah Chapman, one of Diddy's children's mothers, was due to have a massage, so plaintiff had attempted to remove this young woman from the massage room, but she was very reluctant as she felt unsafe. Eventually, she left. According to plaintiff, on another occasion, defendant Christian lost a large bag of marijuana and required the crew to search for it on the yacht. That's absolutely ridiculous. According to plaintiff, on another occasion, while Hulu was filming, so Hulu was filming this debauchery, this craziness. They had a whole show being filmed on about this. Okay. Let me see where I was at. Hulu was filming defending Diddy and his friends, including Young Miami, were playing a game called Carisha Please. Defendant Diddy was dared to expose himself. At that point, defendant Diddy stood up, pulled down his pants, and exposed his male parts. Plaintiff was standing beside the table and heard the commotion. Diddy's mother was sitting beside him. His mom? What? Plaintiff then returned to the pantry and refused to stand by outside of the pantry for the duration of that service period. According to plaintiff, on another occasion during New Year's Eve, defendant Diddy had guests who stayed until late afternoon the next day. A fight broke out between Justin Combs' friends. They physically assaulted each other and walked around the boat topless, screaming. Sounds like a fight between men, boys. A plaintiff and the crew felt very uneasy in this environment. At one point, one of the defendants, Diddy's guests, shoved plaintiff's chief steward on the stairs and threw an object across the bar. So it sounds like she's going to need to call some of these workers to testify on her behalf. According to plaintiff, on another occasion, she witnessed an argument between a woman and a man. This whole boat sounds like a chaos. It sounds chaotic for sure. For sure, it sounds chaotic. Sounds chaotic. Okay. According to plaintiff, on another occasion, she witnessed an argument between a woman and a man. The man was upset and proceeded to physically assault her. According to plaintiff, defendant Diddy assistant and noted drug mule Brendan Paul once. Well, let me start over. According to plaintiff, defendant Diddy assistant and noted drug mule Brendan Paul once came down to the pantry and was laughing uncontrollably. He told plaintiff that he had to sit down and watch defendant Diddy have sex with multiple women. What? He said Diddy wanted him present just in case he needed him to get him something while he was in the middle of the act. Get him something like what? Plaintiff questioned why Brendan would want to work for Diddy and he was required to if he was required to do such things. And Brendan replied that Diddy was a good link to have in the industry. According to plaintiff, when defendant Diddy chartered the yacht, she witnessed and served several A-list guests on board, including rappers Redacted 3, Redacted 4, Redacted 5, and 6, as well as 7, and Cuba Gooding Jr. Why y'all putting Cuba out there? Philadelphia rapper, I'm sure that's going to be Meek Mill. We got a 30-year-old Atlanta rapper who rose to prominence following the release of his 2017 mixtapes. Okay. 25-year-old British rapper, Moroccan rapper signed to Bad Boy Records and Maybach Music Group, former model and CEO of female urban clothing brand. We could probably look it up, but if y'all know who these people are, go ahead and list them. According to plaintiff, Cuba Gooding Jr. was extremely unpleasant to serve. He sat at the bar and made derogatory comments to plaintiff. He was visibly intoxicated, and she was in the room and witnessed him inappropriately touching producer Rodney Jones, who at the same time was working on the Love album. As a result of the conduct, Diddy and Christian plaintiff continues to suffer serious harm. Okay, so aiding and abetting, basically creating this toxic environment for her to be in. I'm not going to go through all of the allegations because they're basically going to clarify which allegations, the touching, the groping are all under the SA, the assault and the battery. And then the aiding and abetting is basically what we just read. And then her like losing her job and the depression and all of those things. Those are like her, damages to prove why she needs to be paid for the harm that they caused her. So overall, I think the case can go either way. Overall, I think we need to see the video. Do we want to watch the video? I don't know. But I do think that we need to see the video in order to determine if it's going to look good or bad for her. I'm going to say the transcript to me at the beginning doesn't look that good for her, but it could definitely change when we actually see the actual interaction between if it looks more forced, they got shoved in a corner. What's going on in these videos? Does it sound worse than it actually appears? And I forgot who was saying it earlier. Was she a willing participant? And that's going to be for the jury to find. They're the fact finders. They have to find out if it was she drunk, right? Did she do anything to test whether she was drunk or drugged? They're going to have to find out if she was a willing participant, right? Again, like I said, if she was having all of these problems and she was about to get off shift, why didn't she send the other stewardess instead of herself if she knew that Christian was coming on to her and that he potentially drugged her? So there's a lot of questions that the jury is going to ask her. The defendants, they don't have to prove that they're not an assaulter, right? They just have to prove that plaintiff did not prove her case. I didn't cause her to become epileptic. She was already that. I didn't cause her to lose her job. She actually got fired out after she chartered another boat and she got drunk on that boat. So it's going to be on them to poke holes in her story, and she actually has to prove her story. So not saying she's going to lose, not saying she's going to win. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get Bossy B in here. And we actually got a short stream today, y'all. By the way, we are at 55 likes, so 45 people watching live. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help us out in the algorithm, and it does help us get more friends here. And we get our cool little video that I haven't fixed yet, but that's okay. It's okay. It's still fun. If we hit our like goal. And shout out to all the members on the live stream. I need to go ahead and set up the poll for the members live stream to see when we're going to be doing this. Excuse me. See when we're going to do our members live stream. So hopefully we can get all of our new members onto the live. Well, maybe not all of it because there's a lot of members right now. But to get a couple of our new members on the live stream to talk about some of the cases that we've been covering. I know we've been covering Diddy like crazy because he's just always in the headlines and always getting sued at this point. But hopefully we'll be seeing a criminal arrest and enough of these lawsuits going on, right? And then he's probably going to be able to plead the fifth because he can't like snitch on himself in a civil case and then be facing a criminal case. So there's all of that. Okay, I already did my translation with Bossy. Let's see what the chat has to say. If you guys have comments relating to the case, feel free to drop them. I'm going to read the comments right now. MB says, I have been drugged. I didn't even think of going to the doctor. I realized what was happening and got out of there the day after. I didn't even report it to the police and to the doctors. I understand that. And most people don't think to do that, right? Most people don't think that they're being drugged. But if you are going to bring a lawsuit, they're going to ask you, why didn't you get tested? Just like, what's her name? And you can still succeed. We just saw Grace from Grace Jabari succeed. And she didn't go to the doctor. I think she went to the doctor like a couple days later. They don't even know where the scratch came from. So you're right. Most people do not go to the doctor immediately, especially like not even just limiting it to this, but let's think about like car accidents. People don't go to the doctor and they're like, oh my gosh, well, my neck hurts. I know it came from this because I didn't do anything else egregious or, reckless. I know it came from the accident. My neck hurts. The accident caused my neck to hurt. So no, definitely agree. I definitely get you on that. Tanya D reminding everyone, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you haven't already, it's a free way to support the channel. Yes, of course. Thank you for the reminder there. All the Happy Squirrel says, I forgot to hit the like on my way in. Don't be like me, friends. Yes, as long as you hit it. We are now at 60 likes. Our like goal for the stream is 75, y'all. It's 75. So if you haven't hit the like button, we are almost there. We are almost there. We got 15 more to go. 15 more to go. Mary Malaki says, I'm surprised LA doesn't allow cameras in the courtroom with all the celebs, including the celeb attorneys. Shocked I am. And I kind of feel like that's the reason why. They don't want to put the celebrities more on blast. I think over the next couple of years, they'll start leaning more into it. Or they know us people on YouTube like to cover stuff like this. So maybe, just maybe, if it goes to trial when I have some availability, maybe I can go in person and watch and tweet. I don't tweet, but cover it after going to the trial. I don't know how long this will take to go to trial, but yeah, it's surprising to me that they don't let the cameras in there, being that Hollywood, LA, they're like the hub of entertainment. You would think they would be the main ones on camera. But I think that happened after like the Menendez brothers and trial, the murder trial. And they just haven't been fans of it because of all the publicity since then, I want to say. I could be wrong. But I think that and the OJ O.J. Simpson trial had a big effect on California not allowing cameras in the courtroom. Kayla Eloy said, thank you very much for the super sticker. Definitely appreciate it. I didn't get to see the graphic because I'm looking at the StreamYard screen and you sent this a little while ago, but thank you. I definitely appreciate it. All of the Happy Squirrel says, how does a person sober up in an hour? I don't know. That part doesn't seem very credible to me. Maybe he has some super medication to make himself sober. I don't know. I don't know how the heck you do that. Kristen Upper says his mother, OMG, yeah. And then for whatever reason, it just doesn't surprise me because I am of the firm belief that he's kind of pimping out his kids. So for his mother to be okay while her son is slinging his male parts around for a camera, for a freaking camera, that just doesn't surprise me. Maybe the craziness runs deep in the family. Maybe it did not start with Diddy. All the Happy Squirrel says that boat does not sound like a good time. It sounds like a horrible. It sounds like a trap. Like when she started explaining all of the incidences, I'm thinking like, oh, this is pretty much the only incident. Like, no, people are fighting, people are naked, people are screaming, people are hiding in bathrooms, people are stealing shots, people are hiding alcohol, putting alcohol, bringing babies on board. It's like a lot going on, right? It does not sound like a place to be. Mary Malarkey says Tiffany Haddish is my guess. That's what I would think off the top of my head too. But is she in with Diddy? I don't know. Chantel says, I think the audio was released, but not the video. I haven't seen it yet. Ashley D says, this is starting to sound like a really bad billionaire dark romance book. Like Christian Combs reads them and think he can get away with that. Young men, those are fiction. It's not fiction for him because his dad is allegedly doing it too. And who knows, might have taught him even how to do it. I mean, he's letting his drug mule be in the bedroom with him. He let his mother be in the room with him while he's pulling down his pants. What's for us to think that he doesn't allow his kids to be in the room while he's doing that type of stuff, especially the boys, to try to teach him how to do it, basically. That's where I'm leaning towards at this point. Mary Malarkey says his mom was there. Yeah, his mom was allegedly there as he exposed his male parts. Ashley D says, also, I'm glad I'm not the only one who didn't know what a Black Santa video is, because all I can think is it sounds like a blackmail video. I don't think so. I think it was just him probably dressed as Santa. I don't know what it actually is, but I'm thinking it was just him dressed as Santa because this was around Christmas time when they were chartering the boat. So I don't know. If I find out more information, I'll let you know. All the Happy Squirrel says we're covering Diddy because he's a whole mess and he's given us content for weeks. At this point. John Smith says if they found a video in his house or houses, then things are going to get super real. Oh, you think they're not going to find videos in their houses? Like they're going to find videos there. Or he might just have a completely separate storage on a different island of where he keeps all these videos. But my thing is like, how effective blackmail would that be if they don't actually keep the blackmail on site? I just feel like he had it in his house and he thought he would never get caught, in my opinion, if the allegations are true, right? Chantel says, sounds like Mr. Jones might have a lot of incriminating recordings. Diddy should have paid him the $50,000 he owed him. Right. A lot of this stuff, Diddy's house probably wouldn't have even been raided if he would have just paid him the money that he asked for. And he wasn't even asking for half the money that Diddy owed him. He would have probably turned a blind eye, which is sad. I'm glad Diddy didn't pay him. I'm glad Cassie sued him and started the snowball effect of people suing him. Because we got to find out if this stuff is real or not, right? Because we don't know. Right now, it's just allegations and shade. John Smith says, interesting. You can't say tweet anymore since it's X, right? How can we state you posted an X? I don't know. I don't know any of the lingo on X at this point. I still call it Twitter. Just Me MD says, would Ivy help push to help you get sober? I've heard that's a thing with celebs. I see that too, but I don't think it cures you like that quickly. I think like they put vitamins in your body, but you still have to like recover. Chantel says, I thought Cassie said she received IV treatments after using drugs, so maybe that sobers them up. I just don't think it would do it that fast. We can look up how to sober up in an hour, then my search history is going to be wild. Kimmy Lockett says, Philadelphia rapper Meek Mill, Moroccan rapper French Montana. Oh, okay. Atlanta rapper Maybe Little Baby. He's 29 though, not 30. British rapper Maybe Central C. I have no idea who that is. But yeah, though I was thinking Little Baby too with the like whole mixtape thing, but I don't really know if that's really why he blew up. Chantel says, so Diddy is also an exhibitionist. I'm running out of negative adjectives to describe him. I think you got a lot more to run out of because I don't think he's going to be done anytime soon. I hope this stuff doesn't just blow over or go under the rug. John Smith says, I am with you, Bree. My lips are dry too, and I haven't spent 1.5 hours talking. They always, like around this time, start looking real crazy. So I feel you on that. All the happiest girl says, what is with the rich, powerful men not paying people what they owe them? And then they expose him. Now they're exposing him. But also, I don't like how all these people just have been turning a blind eye, and now that they see they can get money, now all of a sudden they can see. I don't like that. Kimmy Locker says, I don't even use Twitter, but I feel very passionate about not calling it X. Right. Yeah, just call it Twitter. John Smith says, no, you can't remove alcohol via IV unless you are getting dialysis. If he's getting dialysis, that is extreme. And could you really still do it that fast? That's crazy to get dialysis to move alcohol. I hope that's not what he's doing. But would I be surprised if that's what he was doing? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. All the Happy Squirrel says, I believe you are correct to John Smith, and I don't believe they'd had a dialysis machine and provider on the boat. I mean, these are rich people. So would we be, what's my word? I can't even think right now, y'all. I didn't sleep last night. So that's the first thing. I'm surprised I'm even able to speak halfway decently on this live stream right now because I did not sleep last night. But would we be surprised? That's a word, not even a hard word at all. But would we be surprised if they had a dialysis machine? And I think he like kind of got off the boat. If I remember correctly, the way they wrote it, it seems like he got off the boat, went and did what he did, and then he came back with a baby. He came back with a baby, so maybe like the villa they were staying at had the dialysis machine. That's crazy. They better not have a dialysis, but you can buy whatever you want. You're freaking rich. You're freaking rich. Okay. Overall, I think that the sentencing on Jonathan Majors was good. I mean, for what it's worth, he was found guilty. He's not going behind bars for an extra year. I think for what it's worth, his sentencing was accurate. For Diddy's case, or Christian Combs' case, his second son being sued with him. What's going on with Quincy? Is Quincy gonna be hit with anything? Or is he normal? Is he the only normal son? Like, is he gonna get hit with anything? Does he not F with his dad like that? Please let me know. Please. No, you know what? Quincy was like an actor. He was like a really good actor. I was a fan for him. On what show was he on? Was he on Star? I think he was on Star. On VH1. But yeah, Quincy doesn't seem like he's in that much trouble. He has a dad, not a dad, but a mom. Not that he has a mom, but I don't know. I don't remember. He's not Kim Porter's son, though, if I'm not mistaken. He's not Kim Porter's son. I might be wrong. Let me shut up. Either way it goes, these other two sons are being sued with their dad left and right. They've fallen into the nonsense that his dad kind of created. Small says, "No, Quincy, stop fooling with Diddy for real, for real." Yeah, that makes sense to me. It does not seem like he's gonna fall into the mess. My understanding or my remembrance of him is that he does have a pretty good career and he's not into the funny business like this. These other kids are kind of like on a power trip with being Diddy's son. Tiny says Quincy's dad has been trying to get him to come home. As because he had a stepdad, right? A stepdad that kind of raised him. Am I confusing stuff? I don't know. Mary Malaka says, I'm on Twitter daily. Everyone still calls it Twitter. No one, it makes Elon Musk frustrated and just the icing on the cake. Yeah. That makes sense. I'm trying to think. Quincy, he has like a stepdad, if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh, Quincy is okay. That's what it is. Quincy is Kim's and Al B's son. I was like, no, I was like, something's different. Yeah. So Diddy is like the stepdad, basically. That's what I was like. I don't think that's really his son. You don't look like him. Tiny says Q's parents are Kim Porter and singer Al B. Sure, who was at Motown too. Okay, makes sense. Diddy is the stepdad. Yeah, okay. I got it. I was like, I know there's a light-skinned man involved, and I don't remember. I didn't remember. Small says, yeah, I'll be sure that's him. Yep. Small says, no, Diddy is his stepdad. Okay, that makes sense. So he's probably not gonna fall into it. It's just his biological offspring, right? that's getting into trouble. That's bad. That sucks. That really does suck for him. Not for the kids, not for him. He's an adult. He did what he did. So yeah. Either way it goes, that is all that we have for the live stream today. Unfortunately, we did not hit our like goal. It's okay. We are at 64 likes with 48 people watching live. If you haven't hit the like button and you still want to try to reach that goal, please do hit the like button. But other than that, that's all I have for the cases for today. I will see y'all all on the next live stream. I hope everyone has a wonderful night. Bye.